Hi folks, I'm back with another video. This one's going to be a response to a vinyl tag created by Graeme of the channel Cracking Vinyl. Graeme's celebrating 10 years in the VC. Quite a milestone, Graeme. Congratulations. I think I've got another couple of years to go before I hit that milestone. Anyway, the tag that Graeme has created is an 80s vinyl tag. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking if you've watched quite a number of my videos. What the hell is Pete doing an 80s vinyl tag for? He hates the 80s, which is correct. I have very little time for that decade which did its best to destroy music, in my humble opinion. But I first became aware of this tag when I watched my good friend Mr. John Bellamy's latest video, where he did a response to the tag. And sad to say, sorry John showed a number of musically dubious albums and acts, typical of that dreaded decade. So I thought, why don't I have a go, see if I can show that there was some resistance in the 80s to the typical type of music that was coming out, and show that maybe, just maybe, there was music of value in the 80s. Sorry, I know I'm going to get a lot of stick for that. So yeah, let's carry on and see what I managed to pick out. So the first prompt is, which 80s song had the best video? Well, we're off to a bad start already. I mean, one of the things I disliked about the 80s was the rise of MTV in the music video. I don't think videos from that period have aged very well. But I suppose if I had to pick one act, it would be the band ZZ Top, who did most of their best stuff, obviously, in the 70s, but hit their commercial peak with the Eliminator album in 1983. Now, I don't own Eliminator. I only got the next album from 1985, Afterburner, which is a weaker album. But Eliminator did feature some quite amusing videos, and I think helped that album to become as popular as it was, including this video for Gimme Some Lovin'. I got the hammer shot, 'cause what you got is oh so sweet. You gotta make it hot, like a boomerang, I need a repeat. Give me all your loving, all your hugs and kisses too. Give me all your loving, don't let up until we're through. Prompt number 2 is show an album released in 1983. And for that, I'm going to show X-Doors keyboardist Ray Manzarek's 1983 album, Camina Burana, where he interprets probably my favourite classical piece, Camina Burana by Carl Orff. Excellent album, produced by Philip Glass, of all people. Prompt number 3 is show a 12-inch record. Now, I've never been a collector of 12-inch records. I've got hardly any. But I do have one, and it is from the 80s. And it's by probably the best guitarist, singer-songwriter this country's produced, Mr. Richard Thompson. And it's Reckless Kind. This came out in 1989, and he's taken from his album Amnesia, and it's backed with 2 live tracks of Pharaoh and a 9-minute Can't Win.
The reckless kind, the reckless kind, the reckless kind, the reckless kind. You're his, not mine.
Excellent stuff, and one of the few artists that I think escaped the 80s unscathed. Prompt number 4 is a one-hit wonder. And I think this is correct, but I'm going to show Laurie Anderson with her album Big Science, which contains the hit Oh Superman. I may be wrong, but I tend to think of that as a one-hit wonder. I'm not sure she had any other hits, at least in this country.
Hi. I'm not home right now, but if you want to leave a message, just start talking at the sound of the tone.
And prompt number 5 is to show a record by your favourite 80s artist. Now, I'm going to go for an artist from a genre style that started in the 80s, and for me, personally, saved that decade. I got into music in about 1973. By a decade later, I was beginning, I think, to lose my love of music. Most of the acts that I liked were either gone or were not being talked about, or had morphed into pale imitators of what they used to be. So in the early 80s, I gave up even reading the magazines. You know, there was no mention of music I liked in Sounds and Melody Maker. But then I hit upon the Paisley Underground, that American musical movement that took its inspiration from the psychedelic music of the 60s. And I discovered my love of music again, basically. I know that sounds a bit dramatic and over the top, but it's the way I felt at the time. And I'm going to show this album by The Rain Parade, Emergency Third Rail Power Trip, a superb album of neo-psych music. Sorry about the glare. Superb band. I was lucky enough to see live in Manchester during this early 80s, along with a number of the other Paisley Underground bands. Now, prompt number 6 is to show a 80s dance floor banger. Now, dance floor is somewhere you wouldn't see me within 100 miles of. But I'm going to show The Art of Noise with their first album, Who's Afraid of the Art of Noise? And track 2, Beatbox, I think was a big dance floor hit at the time. This was released in, I think, 1983, I think. Yeah, 83. Prompt number 7. Which album cover is the most 80s? Well, I'm not sure about this, but I've gone with John Foxx, singer with Ultravox for their first 3 albums before going solo in his synth pop direction. And his, I think, first album, Metamatic. And that looks pretty 80s to me.
Standing in the dark, watching you glow, lifting a receiver. Nobody I know.
Number 8 is show a record by your favourite act at Live Aid. Now, I think this is meant to be showing an album by the act that you thought performed the best at Live Aid. But I'm going to be a bit perverse and show my favourite artist who did appear on the lineup at that Live Aid, who perversely performed one of the worst sets ever. And that is Mr. Dylan, the brilliant songwriter that he is. He had generally a poor 80s, I'm afraid, suffered like a lot of acts, but came back strongly in 1989 with this album, Oh Mercy, where his live performance alongside Ronnie Wood and Keith Richards was, I'm afraid, one to forget. And prompt number 9 is show a band with big hair. Now this I totally struggled with, because not only do I not like those 80s pop acts that had massive 80s hairdos, but I didn't like the metal hair bands that came out in the 80s either. So all I could show for this is Iron Maiden with their album from 1980, first album. And, well, the band themselves might have a lot of hair. It's mainly for Eddie, their mascot, on the front cover. That looks like a typical 80s hairdo to me. And hitting the halfway point with prompt number 10, a favourite cover song from the 80s. Well, I'm going to show this album by avant-garde guitarist Henry Kaiser. Those who know history are doomed to repeat it, on which there are a number of covers, including Mason's Children by the Grateful Dead, Burt Bacharach's The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, and Bobby Gentry's Ode to Billy Joe, where I'm going with the track that occupies the whole of side 2, and that's an amalgam of the Grateful Dead, Dark Star, and the other one. Excellent stuff by Henry Kaiser. And now we're on to number 11, which is to show a forgotten gem from the 80s. And for me, it has to be Drama by Yes. A brilliant album. Surprisingly so, because upon Rick Wakeman and John Anderson leaving the band, when I heard that they were going to be replaced by the two members of the Buggles, Jeff Downes and Trevor Horn, I did not expect a lot from this album, but it is a superb album. I think their last true classic album, with superb tracks like Machine Messiah and Tempest Fugit. A true forgotten gem, I think.
If you were there, you would want to be near me. In a sense, you could hold the materials, and the nothing would really be living. It would shock your wall into blinding light in the north sky. Time flies, must be morning, the call of the dawning, but nothing to us. You were giving your best situation, and answer me yes.
Number 12 is which two artists do you wish had collaborated? Now, I don't think these two did. They are two artists from the 70s, but both of whom did excellent work in the 80s too. And the first one is Robert Fripp, who in the 80s put together a new lineup of King Crimson and did 3 albums, the best of which is this first one, Discipline, from 1981. And I wish he'd got together to do an album with Richard Pinnis of Helden fame. He did his best album, his best solo album in the 80s, which is this one, Lethique, from 1982. Now, Pinnis made no bones about, how much he respected and was influenced by Robert Fripp. I just wish they'd got together at this point and done a collaborative album. Now, number 13 is Time Machine. Which act do you wish you could go back and see live? Now, I could have chosen the Grateful Dead for this, because in 1981 they did 4 shows in London, all 4 at the Rainbow, 2 early in the year, 2 later in the year. I only went to 1. I wish I'd gone to all 4 now. But I'm not going to go with them. I'm going to go with the avant-garde prog band Urban Sax, formed by Gilbert Hartman of Lard Free fame. They were a large ensemble, mainly made up of saxophone players, but they would do these large outdoor multimedia concerts where there'd be up to 50 or so musicians, mainly, as I said, saxophonists, but also with choral voices and percussion. And they'd be playing off scaffolding in open air squares. Quite a sight to see. I had a chance to see one of their gigs. I think it was London, but it might have been somewhere else in the south in the 80s. And for some reason I didn't go. I don't know why. I regret that. I wish I'd gone. That would have been quite some spectacle. Number 14 is to show a synth pop record. Well, I've already done that with the John Fox. So for this, I'll go with Gary Newman and his first album of the 80s from 1980, Telecon. I'd liked his early singles with Tubeway Army and his solo stuff. But it's only lately that I've got to appreciate the albums themselves.
What if God's dead? We must have done something wrong. This dark facade ends. We're independent from someone.
And so number 15 is, excuse me, to show a song from a movie. Well, I'm not just going to show one, I'm going to show whole soundtrack. And that's, excuse the glare, Tangerine Dream. And the soundtrack that they did for Michael Mann's horror film, The Keep. Excellent movie. And I think one of Tangerine Dream's best soundtracks. Right, we're on the home stretch. Number 16 is Your Hairbrush Song. My singing voice shouldn't be heard, even to myself. It's that bad. I was more an air guitarist or air keyboard player than a sort of hairbrush singer. But I'll go with a catchy song that I always liked and probably could try and sing along to. And that's Teardrop Explodes with their song Reward from the Kilimanjaro album from 1980.
Where's my cotton socks? I'm in the news.
17. Now this is one I had no chance with. An urban record. Hip-hop, soul, house, dance. All genres I do not get on with at all. If it had been 60s soul, then I could probably have found something, but 80s, no thank you. But it does say an urban record. And urban is to do with cities. So at a stretch, I'm going with a superb French band, Art Zoid. This was their first album, recorded in 76, but this is an 81 re-recording of the album. So I think it classes as an 80s album. Art Zoid were a sort of chamber rock RIO band, brilliant. And the title of the album is Symphonie pour le jour au brûlant le site, which stands for, my French is bad, Symphony for the days the cities will burn. So there you go. It's urban, it's cities. It's got to fit it. Brilliant album anyway. Number 18, who would you like to make a comeback? I'm going back to the Paisley Underground. A number of those bands have made a comeback. We've had recent records from Dream Syndicate, Long Riders, Rain Parade. But I don't think we've ever had a comeback from one of my other favourites, Green on Red. This is their 1983 album, Gravity Talks? Yeah, sorry, it's in very small writing. Gravity Talks. Excellent band. Saw live in the International in Manchester in the 80s. Would like to hear them do something new.
16 kids, 16 ways. They shot my baby by mistake. They're out alone on a midnight ride. My 16 kids all have died, and they ain't coming back. It's too late. They shot my baby, but they killed my baby.
Number 19, an album you would jam it in a Walkman. Well, I was going to say something like a Klaus Schulze album or even Throbbing Gristle's Heathen Earth. But I've decided to go with a band that's getting a lot of love in the VC at the moment. I was quite a fan of theirs in the 80s, and I'm going with The Church and their first album, self-titled, from 1982, I think. Superb album.
So hard finding inspiration. I knew you'd find me crying. Tell those girls with rifles for minds that their jokes don't make me laugh. They only make me feel like dying in unguarded moments.
And we get to the final one, your 80s crush. I initially thought of Kate Bush, but she came through in the 70s, really. So I am going with the ultra beautiful Susanna Hoffs. Now, I don't have anything by the Bangles, surprisingly, even though they were one of the bands from the Paisley Underground that I saw in Manchester in the 80s. But she does appear on this superb Rainy Day project, which is a whole bunch of Paisley Underground musicians covering famous tracks like I'll Keep It With Mine, Flying on the Ground is Wrong, Sloop John B, I'll Be Your Mirror, Rainy Day Dream Away, John Riley, and more. Superb album, and she sings superbly on the Velvet's track, I'll Be Your Mirror.
I'll be your mirror, reflect what you are, in case you don't know. I'll be the sun, the wind and the rain, the light on your door, to show that you're home. When you think the night has seen your mind, bent inside you, twisted and unkind, let me stand to show that you are blind. Please put down your hands, 'cause I see you.
So we come to the end. What did you think? Did I make my point? I think I did. I think I've proven that there were certain bands and artists who were producing some decent music in the 80s. I know I've probably annoyed a lot of the fanboys and girls of the 80s that are on the VC. But they're youngsters. What do they know about music? It's only us oldies that know what proper music is. Anyway, thank you again and congratulations to Graeme for his 10 years in the VC. Thank you for putting this together. I hope you enjoyed that. It's a bit of fun. Take care.